Well, hello and welcome to Growing Deeper Daily with Gateway Church. I'm Pastor Michael. I'm looking forward once again to looking in God's Word together with you this week. I hope that you are daily feeding your mind and your heart and your spirit with the truth of God's Word, not just for mere mental assent to facts and information, but with the desire that God might get attention of our hearts, get the attention of those things in our life that truly matter. Are we humbling ourselves before God's Word that it might change us from the inside out? That's our prayer. That's our prayer. This week, we're continuing our look in the Proverbs. In fact, we're going to do that the whole month of July. We're going to take the month of August off and get ready back again for the fall for our daily devotion series. But this month, I wanted to focus in on the Proverbs. And each week, we're going to look at various themes in the book. We covered last week kind of the general overall setting and themes of the book. It's this idea of wisdom. How do we live well in the world? How do we have skill in the art of godly living that God has created for us, this beautifully ordered world? That when we follow him in faith and seek to be men and women of wisdom, we get to find his blessing, his encouragement in this world. Now, the books of Ecclesiastes and Job demonstrate to us that the world does not always work out the way we would hope it will. And so the full gamut of wisdom literature in the Hebrew Bible makes it clear that there are things that are unfair and unjust that happen, even for those that choose the right way to live. So in coming series, we'll talk about that full orb view. But for the study here in Proverbs, the idea is live a life of wisdom. Seek to be a person that skillfully and artfully looks to the past, looks to the ways that God has ordered the world and how others have prospered as a result of walking in the way of righteousness and wisdom in the fear of the Lord. In fact, that's one of the key themes we talked about, to live in awe and reverence and fear of God as we seek after wisdom. The first 9 chapters really lay out for us a lot of large kind of thematic ideas around this. It's the idea of a father speaking to a son, a father speaking to a child, a parent to those children of theirs, desiring to see them grow up in wisdom and to choose wisdom over folly. And remember, we talked about that last week. The choice is ours. Choose your path, wisdom or folly in your life. How do you want to live? One of the big themes as well in the first 9 chapters is this theme of Lady Wisdom. It's set up for us as the example par excellence. In many ways, it's seen as a character of God, as one of the very attributes of God that is lived out, this idea of wisdom, and we're to listen to her call, listen to the call of wisdom. We don't have time in our study now, but in Proverbs 8, it talks about how wisdom was there at the beginning, how from the very beginning, God has been working skillfully and artfully in crafting this world. And we see ultimately Jesus in the flesh as the ultimate demonstration of the wisdom of God in the flesh lived out for us, God himself. It's a beautiful picture in the Proverbs. It's not just mere little one-off verses. It gives us a full gamut of God's desire for us to live wisely, skillfully, artfully in this world. What are you choosing today? What path are you on? This week, I want to spend a few days talking about just several of the themes as it relates to our speech, the use of our tongue. We know from the book of James, often talked about as the New Testament equivalent of Proverbs, that the tongue is a powerful tool. It could steer and guide ships. It could set fires and ablaze. It could be used in great power, or it could be used to bring about great destruction as well. And today I want to look at just chapter 15, verses 1 and 2 in Proverbs, where we lay out for us a couple ways that we could choose to use our words in ways that honor God and that are wise in this world, okay? Here it is. A soft answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. The tongue of the wise commends knowledge, but the mouths of fools pour out folly. Okay, here we see 2 ways that our speech can be used in profitable ways in our life. The first, the soft answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. Have you ever been in a situation, whether it may be perhaps, let's see, at the workplace, where things start to get tense? Perhaps there's a challenge or an issue that you're addressing together. And as things escalate, you could sense your heart beating and the temperature rising, and you want to come back with a quick, sharp word. Have you ever done it and only found that all you have done is inflamed the division even more and anger even more? The proverb here says, live wisely by choosing a calm and soft answer in response to folly and wrath when it comes up. How about you? What are those situations that stir you up to respond with a harsh word, that cause you to desire to respond with a hard response, as opposed to softly, gently, pointing in a different way? Maybe with your kids, the temptation is always there, right? To, in the midst of correcting, to heighten it in such a way that you say harsh words instead of gentle and healing words. I want to encourage you today, when you feel the heat rising and you want to respond, think of a gentle way, a soft way, that you could dispel anger. Because ultimately, it's not about you being right with what you say, but it's about seeing that other individual loved and cared for and served and lifted up. And we could do so. We could point out error in gentle ways. We could point out ways to move forward that heal and do not hurt. Do not choose a harsh word today. The other one here, a tongue of the wise commends knowledge, but the mouth of fools pour out folly. Have you ever been in a situation where people are just talking and you could just sense the folly dripping off their lips? I've been in one of those recently where the content in which people were talking about was so ridiculous, so adverse to the things of God, I just had to walk away. It wasn't even inviting the opportunity to respond and to talk and to engage. It was just mere folly and foolishness. But have you ever been around that individual that every time they speak, you want to listen because you know there's knowledge that they are giving, the wisdom of the individual whose tongue is used to share knowledge? I want to be an individual who, when I speak, people don't think silliness and foolishness and evil and unrighteousness, but how do my words inspire? How do I share knowledge? Knowledge about the Lord, knowledge about living as a godly man, knowledge about loving and caring and serving for others, knowledge about how to lead and care for others well. How is your tongue being used today? Is it being used to share folly or to share knowledge? This is some of the challenging words that we see here in the book of Proverbs that is inspiring us to live well in God's world. So today, choose a gentle response, not a harsh one. You know that individual that incites harsh words from you. Choose gentleness. And secondly, today, seek to share knowledge, not folly. Seek to not comment on the foolish things of this world and inflame them. Rather, share the truth about what it means to know and follow God and to love and to live well in this world. The Proverbs, very practical as we seek to use our tongue in ways that honor God. Well, God bless you. Thank you for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow as we continue our look into the Proverbs and the use of our tongue to live wisely in this world.